These are 7 important things musicians like you and me forget to focus on. Being in shape is one of them. Let's start the video. The purpose of this entire video is to focus on the things that musicians like you and me forget about that are very important to the furthering of our careers, things that matter more than we realize, but don't really focus on too much. And welcome to Church of Jesus Christ Apostolic Church, my childhood church I was born into. Okay, so number 1 on the list is practice, believe it or not. And I know that seems like a very obvious thing to say. It seems like the simple choice. You think everybody should remember to practice, especially musicians. They don't. And the reason I know this is because a lot of musicians on my channel, when they're asking me about how did I get where I am, how can I be like you, how can I produce music like you do, the number 1 answer that I give everybody is time to practice. It takes time to grow. It takes time to learn all of the things that I have learned to be the musician that I am today. But the response that I get after that is, what's the shortcut? What's the fastest way that I can get there? I'm telling you right now, there is no shortcut. There is no fast way. Practice is highly underrated, and you really need to be careful. Number 2, investing time. Let's talk about it. So the reason why I think investments is the number 2 thing that every musician forgets to focus on is because a lot of the time people are extremely lazy. To become a better musician, to become a better artist, you have to invest into your craft. And that is not only in money, but that's also in time, in effort, and all of these things added together. Investments are really important to have. Now, I actually made a video kind of about this last year. The video was basically about how I got started in making music. It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. And I have spent 20 years playing this music, so I would say I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I know I'm pretty good at what I do. So the one thing I can say for anybody who's trying to like get started with music, or they want to know how the best way to get started, is you got to put in the work and the time. It doesn't happen overnight. A lot of people ask me, oh, how can I want to learn how to make beats like you. I want to know how to make music like you, and I want to know how to do this and do that. What's the fastest way I can learn? And I'm like, dude, there is no fast way. There was also another video that I made called, do you really want to make music, or do you really want to be a musician? Something to that effect. And I'm talking about how people always say that they don't have the money, that they don't want to spend money on new equipment, on new gear. They want to find the cheapest way possible. If you're not willing to invest into your craft and your music, do you really love this music? Do you really want to do it? Ask yourself that. I want everybody here to ask yourselves, do you really love this, or do you really want this as much as you think you do? So both of these videos are examples of investments and things that I think a lot of artists, musicians in today's day and age forget to focus on. Investing into your music equipment is very important. Investing into your music creation, your content creation, your videos, your branding, all of this stuff is important, but I think people don't want to do that because they want to find the cheapest way, the fastest way. Anyway, so in a nutshell, investing time, money, blood, sweat, tears, practice, all of that stuff into what you claim you say you love is really important. You have to be willing to take that time, to invest that time and that money. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for an instant failure. So, investments, practice. Number 3, I'm gonna say performing. Performing in this day and age, I think, is highly overlooked by musicians because they think they can achieve everything through social media. You have to be able to perform, to go out there and represent yourself, because that's the way to build fans the old-fashioned way. And old-fashioned still works these days. I look so chubby. I need to get my hair cut too. Aside from social media, how else are you going to get your name out there? How else are you going to brand yourself and show people who Lxgend is, who Chris Brown is, for instance, who any of these people are, if they don't see a physical you, if they don't get to physically interact with you, all they're seeing is an image over a computer screen. So you have to put yourself out there. You have to get that practice in while you're performing. You have the stage presence, you have the charisma, you're able to hit the notes, you're able to dance and do all these different things because you've been doing it. Now, that brings me to number 4, being in shape. Lord have mercy. Being in shape is actually going to help you out in every aspect of your music career, from the creation to the performance to everything else in between. And why do I say that? Because obviously, if you're in shape, you are better equipped to perform live for longer periods of time, which comes in handy when you're doing those 45-minute to 1 hour and a half long sets without a break or an intermission. And not only that, but in terms of singing and rapping, if you are in shape, your lungs have more air capacity, you're able to hold your notes longer, you're able to sing higher, sing louder. I have noticed, even with myself, when I weigh more, when I take on more weight, an unhealthy amount of weight, I'll say, I tend to have lesser singing capabilities. My voice kind of doesn't sound as good as it used to sound. Versus when I lose weight, when I get in shape and I feel real toned, I feel real good, my lung capacity is back and everything is feeling good. That's when I'm able to hit all these runs and hit these high notes and do all this crazy stuff with my voice. And I'm able to rap without taking breaths every... I don't think people realize how being in shape can truly help your vocals, can truly help your rapping. I understand some people have different body types, so I'm not saying you have to be skinny. I'm just saying you have to be in shape for you. And the more in shape you are, the better capacity you have for your lungs, the better you can sing, the better you can rap, the better your songs will sound. So yes, being in shape can help your music creation as well as your performing. I'm trying to be the best artist I can be. Now, so my next thing would be your branding, your image, who you are as an artist, your look, your style, your fashion. I think in today's time, the vast majority of artists who are trying to break into the industry, who are trying to make a name for themselves as an artist or a musician, are forgetting they don't have a brand. They don't have an image. They don't have a look. They don't have something consistent that fans can look at and say, that's definitely a Lxgend song. That's definitely Lxgend's look. I know who that is because I can tell by this big giant afro. You see what I'm saying? See, when I was younger and in school, I was known as the guy with the big, huge afro. That was literally my image for years. I think almost pretty much a decade. It's the thing that helped people remember who I was. You look at people like Billie Eilish, she always wears these baggy clothes with neon colors and crazy camo and things like that. Or you look at somebody like Lana Del Rey, it looks like she just came out of the 50s. So what is your branding? Who are you? What do you want to be? Images is very important. And that ties into the next part, which is marketing. So if you really think about it, your marketing ties into your branding ties into you being in shape ties into your looks ties into your investments, and investing time into branding yourself, and all this stuff ties together. I don't know, I missed some other stuff in there. So I would say the marketing is the tip of the iceberg, and everything else that I mentioned in this video falls beneath the water. It's the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see, except for performing, obviously. And I know you probably think I'm crazy when I say this, because everybody who has a social media page and posts their music on SoundCloud or on YouTube, whatever it may be, that is a form of content marketing, which is marketing your music. So why would I mention this in this video? Because that is not the extent of marketing. You have to do so much more than just post content. That is also something that I think a lot of people lack, because they're posting one-dimensional content. They're only posting music, but they're not posting videos like this of you interacting with your fan base or giving advice or doing tutorials or breaking down stuff like that. Because today it's not all about just having a good brand and being a good singer. I think it is all about building a relationship and a connection with your fan base. Last but not least, experiencing life. I think this is one of the most underrated things on this entire list, because a lot of people just think they're already living their lives and, you know, they don't have to really worry about focusing on living their lives. The reason why sometimes you can't create what you're trying to create is because you haven't experienced enough, or because you are lacking experience in life. You've been creating for so long and stuck inside of a studio for so long that you don't have the inspiration or the content to create your music from. That's the reason why I travel so much. I do these different things and go to these different countries and experience these different cultures, meet new people, try new things, because I know that somewhere along in that journey, not the destinations, but the journey, is where I'll find a new topic to write about. I'll find some new chord progressions from a new culture that I can include and incorporate into one of my songs, or I'll get inspired by some breakup in Poland or almost getting robbed and stuff like that. You have to put the rest of your stuff to the back burner. Put everything down. Put down your phone, put down your camera. Well, take your camera with you, because I'm all for filming. But focus on living just that, and then watch how inspired you'll be after the fact. As always, stay legendary. I love y'all, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.